Hello everyone, welcome back to Walrus Reacts. Today we're going to be reacting to r/would you rather, and as always, well, I say as always, as we did in the last video and as I will in all future videos, we're doing the top posts for this month. So I'll make the intro as short as possible and I'll get into the video. Alright, top would you rather of this month. Would you rather fight 10 Trump-sized ducks or fight 10 duck-sized Trumps? For the Trump-sized ducks are quite aggressive and they're the size of a grown man. If I want to have a chance at winning the fight, that is not that I do not want 10 of them charging at me, or whatever ducks do. 10 duck-sized Trumps, however, Trump hasn't got a black belt in karate, so it's pretty safe to say I have a chance at fighting him, and if he's the size of Trump, just one of them. But 10 of them the size of ducks, just give them all a little kick, and you've won the fight. So I'm gonna go with duck-sized Trumps. Would you rather marry someone you're obsessed with or someone who's obsessed with you? Okay, I think for me it's pretty obvious here. It's someone that I'm obsessed with because I know it's just more self-beneficial. I don't know if that makes me sound a bit too narcissistic, but hey, it's would you rather, not would your partner rather. So I'm gonna go with someone I'm obsessed with. Would you rather be alone until 59 but find your absolute soulmate at age 60, or go through multiple partners like normal with no guarantee of finding that person? I'm gonna go through normal partners like normal with no guarantee of finding my soulmate, because, well, it's just normal life, and I think life as it is better than being alone until 59 in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with the second option here, and that is just have a normal life. You're on a flight, pilot is down. Who would you rather attempt landing the plane? Now, I'm not going to read through all the options for time purposes, but I'm going to go with the helicopter pilot, because all the other options, there's something wrong about them. For example, the 90-year-old veteran pilot, that's 90 years old. They can't fly a plane. The first person in your life can do it, obviously can't do it. The 13-year-old with 400 flight simulation hours really does not know what they're doing. The helicopter pilot's pretty much, they're the most trustworthy option here, so that is my final answer. Would you rather be stranded on the moon for a weekend or stranded for a week in the submarine? You are stranded on the moon alone with a full oxygen supply. You will stay for a full 48 hours before a teleporter retrieves you. At the bottom of the sea, there is a full submarine with canned foods, filtered water, and a twin extra large-sized bed. You're alone, and the responsibilities of the ship are taken care of by an AI autopilot. Alright, I will acknowledge that the most popular answer here is the lunar weekend, but I'm going to disagree with that and go for the week at sea, because, the lunar weekend, what are you going to do? Just jump around all day? Week at sea, you're in a submarine. If you get the lights on and you look outside at, the fish and the wildlife, if you have, enough light, then you should be able to see them. So I'm going to disagree with, the most popular answer. I'm going to go with the week at sea. Would you rather be instantly recognised by everyone or instantly forgotten by everyone? So as for the everyone recognises you option, no matter where you go, everyone knows who you are, even if you've never met them before. Strangers will approach you, want to talk, take pictures, ask for autographs, etc. Privacy is nearly impossible. And everyone forgets you. No matter where you go, people forget who you are after every interaction. They may think you look familiar, but they'll never retain any real memory of you. You still exist in official records and your job/life can function, but socially, you're a complete stranger every time. Now I'm going to go for everyone forgets you. I had an experience at the end of primary school, into secondary school. I did something at the end of primary school which made me quite popular when I went into secondary school. Everyone knew who I was and that I had done it. It was like, oh, you were that kid who did that? And I was like, yeah, I am. I've heard this a million times. That wasn't even everyone in the school, and the school was only about 1,500 people, and that was already bad enough. But if I just went outside and everyone was crowding around me asking for an autograph, I would collapse. So I'm gonna go with everyone forgets you. Having a family would be quite weird, but I guess there's only two options, and that's the better one in my opinion. Alright, which genie would you rather use? Well, you can just pause the video now if you want to read through all of them and make your own decision. But for me, it's really, I think I agree with the Reddit here. It's between the picky genie and the lazy genie. But I think the lazy genie slightly has the edge. There's a picky genie. If you wish for world peace, it's well, in theory, world peace can be achieved, and they won't let you have that. So you have to wish for absolutely outlandish things, the ability to teleport at will, or the ability to survive in space without a space costume. The Picky Genie, you just have to wish for superpowers, and the Lazy Genie just does your one wish. So I think I'm gonna go for the Picky Genie. Okay? If I just sit down and I just like really meticulously plan out my wishes, boom, done. So I'm gonna go with the Picky Genie here. Armed with only a knife, you must fight one of these opponents to the death. Which would you rather fight? Fight takes place in an empty NBA basketball court. Your weapon is a folding buck knife with a 6-inch blade. Your opponents are unarmed unless specified otherwise. Prime Mike Tyson, Chimpanzee, a 14th century knight in full plate armor, 3 clones of yourself, 5 coyotes, or 10 clones of Billie Eilish with brass knuckles. I don't want to fight Mike Tyson. Chimpanzees are quite aggressive, so I'm going to rule that out as well. Knight in full plate armor, going to rule that out as well. 5 coyotes, like dogs, they're quite fast, quite agile, and quite aggressive. I don't see why that, I don't see why that's the most common answer. And 10 clones of Billie Eilish with brass knuckles, that's just too many people with brass knuckles. I'm going to do with 3 clones of myself, because they're unarmed, and I'm not that good of a fighter. And I have a knife. Stab, stab, stab. Boom, I win. Woohoo, I don't die. Would you rather the first robot or the second robot? So the first robot can do anything, but only has enough battery power to last a day, and to make it worse, it takes 6 weeks to recharge. But the second robot can only do one specific task, and once it's given that task, it's permanently locked in, so it'll only do that, and it will never run out of power. They're both pretty useless. I'm going to go with the first robot. It doesn't really matter. It's just, I think the first robot slightly has the edge. This is one of those would you rathers where it's like both options are bad, but one of them is less bad, which is the one I'm going to go with, the first robot. Which seemingly weak superpower would you rather have? So you can pause the video and read them all out. I'm gonna go against what the most common answer is and say the second most common answer, the ambient heatsink, because I think it's not seemingly weak. I think it's quite useful, especially when I live in Britain. Yeah, I'm gonna go with ambient heatsink. I can't be trusted with flatulence coercion. I cannot be trusted with that. And duality diviner, it could be useful. I guess if you bet on heads or tails. Well, actually, no, it says anytime you flip a coin, which means that you don't know the outcome if someone else flips a coin. So is it really as useful? I'm going to go with ambient heatsink. Which perk would you rather have IRL? So you got alpha male or female with those perks. Toughness and Stoller. So you can pause it again, you can pause it and read it if you want to. I'm going to go with Stoller because I just feel like it's the most useful. Alpha male / female. Well, I'm a male, so I guess for me, alpha male. I don't think it's that useful. Toughness is quite useful, but Stoller, I think, slightly has the edge over toughness. I guess if you have telekinesis, do you really need to have really tough skin? You can just lift something up to, block whatever is coming towards you. So I'm going to go with Stoller. Would you rather get $1 million right now, or $1 billion 20 years before you die? I'm going to go with the 1 billion 20 years before you die, because 1 million right now, it's 1 million. It's a big amount of money, but it's not a big amount of money. 1 bill, the big buck. So I'm gonna go with the 1 billion 20 years before I die, because then A, I know when I'm gonna die, which could be helpful, I guess. And B, it's just more money, so if I know I'm gonna die soon, just give it all away to charities and people in need and whatever. Put it towards a good cause, because I'm gonna be dead in 20 years. So I'm gonna go with the 1 bill. Another, perk, would you rather? So if you can have one of the following perks in real life, which one would you rather pick? Option 1, you can always get 80% off of buying grocery items, but you can't resell them. Option 2, you can heal from wounds and recover from illness 30 times faster than normal. Number 3, you can instant travel to any place in the world, but only twice a week. Number 4, you only need to sleep 3 hours a day to fully replenish your mental energy and stamina. And option 5, your current Reddit post and comment karma get converted into cash. And option 6, you can save infinite checkpoints to go back in time to the previous checkpoint when you feel like it. Obviously, by far, the most common answer is that last one. I agree with that. Being able to save infinite checkpoints. I guess, before some, an important work meeting or exam at school, checkpoint. And if you absolutely screw up, go back, do it again. If you screw up again, go back. And just like in a video game, just go back and retry it. Just go on the grind until you get it. So I'm going to go with that last option. Which curse would you rather deal with for 1 year for $2 million? So, yeah, again, this is quite a long post, pause it and read it if you want to. I have thought about it for absolutely ages now, and I'm going to go for blind eye. I know it's the second least common option. But for me, it's between blind eye and seed planter. And then I eventually decided to rule out seed planter because it's just too impractical. Blind eye, I can deal with it. 1 in 17, I'm willing to risk that. And, well, I guess if I wake up blind on 1 year mark, if I'm, like, blind, like, if I turn blind on, like, near the last week of the thing, then I'm gonna keep on sleeping and napping all day until I wake up not blind. And then I am not going to go to sleep for the rest of the year. And then boom, I'm not gonna be blind. I'll kind of see how that goes. Yeah, they're all pretty bad, but this is one of the ones where you have to pick the less bad one, and in my opinion, blind eye is the least bad, so that is the one I am going for. You're rushing to finish a college paper 10 minutes before class when time freezes and a dimensional creature appears before you. This creature says it can let time freeze around you so you can do what you need to do. How much time would you rather ask for? In this time, you don't age. Every human and animal has turned into ethereal condensed fog and remain so until time is unfrozen. Reason being, you can't hurt anyone. TV, computer screens will proceed at normal speed so you can interact with them. Daylight and nighttime proceed at the normal rate. So you can either pick 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, or 100 years. I'm not going to go for 100 years. It seems like the obvious option. You have the longest time to finish that college paper and then do whatever you want for the rest of the 100 years. I'm going to go for 10 years. Because it's a good balance. Like, there's plenty of stuff you can do in 10 years that you can't just do in 1. But, like, what can you do in 100 years that you can't just do in 10? And 100 years alone, you're the only person on Earth and everything else is an ethereal fog. Like, all humans and creatures are an ethereal fog. That would get quite boring after, like, 20 years even. Never mind 50 or 70 or 100. So I'm going to go for 10 years here. I just think it's the best balance between being able to do what you want to do and not, like, dying of craziness. Would you rather go back to 1935 for the enhanced memory that allows you to recall everything you know about that era, stay in the present with $5 million US, or travel to 2115 and have the equivalent of $1 billion in today's money? I'm going to go with the future, because 1 billion in today's money, the current rate of inflation, $1 billion is going to be worth quite a lot. You're going to be one of the richest people on Earth, probably, by then. And the future, I just think it'll be cool. I can talk to my descendants, whatever. I just think the future would be quite cool, and therefore that is what I'm going to pick. Would you rather never have to work again, but you get stung by a wasp every day at a random time, or continue your normal life? So if you pick the wasp, you're given enough money each week to live a middle-class lifestyle and it will be increased over time to match inflation. However, every day at a random time, a wasp will appear on a random place on your body and sting you. The species of wasp may vary each time, but will generally be wasps with painful stings like paper wasps, yellow jackets, tarantula hawks, etc. You will not build up immunity to the venom, nor develop an allergy to it. And if you pick the normal life, nothing changes. I'm going to go with the normal life, because I think if I just have a good job. If you enjoy they say if you enjoy what you do, you never work in a day in your life. And if you don't enjoy getting stung by a wasp, then I don't think you'll have a very good life. So I'm going to go with the normal life here. For me, it's a pretty obvious choice, but some would you rathers are more obvious than others. Would you rather spend a day with an ancestor from 500 years ago or a descendant of yours in 500 years? If it's a random ancestor, it could be anywhere from Henry VIII to some random peasant from the Middle Ages. But descendant, I think it would be quite cool to hang out with some dude from 500 years from now. I guess I dude or woman, I guess, from 500 years from now. I think it would just be interesting to learn what the future's like 500 years from now. So I'm going to go with descendant, which is the most common answer on this post. And that is the end of the video. As I said in the last video, subscribe to two of my friends, Night GT and Pizza VR. They do Gorilla Tag videos if that's the kind of stuff you're interested in. So go over to them and subscribe to them. I know that it's from the comment section that many of you have been sent over to me from them, mainly Night GT. So thanks for hopping by. Well, I said I'll keep the intros as short as possible. I'll also keep the outros as short as possible. Well, I have one last thing before I go. I am going to leave you with a would you rather. So would you rather in the next video I do r/who would win, r/perfect timing, or r/Stampty board. I'm going to put up a community post for this, a little poll, and in maybe a week's time or so, I'll give it a little check and I'll see which one is the most common answer, and that will be my next video. So pick your best answer, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.